My full name is Rebecca Smith. I'm 32 years old, and I married my husband, Michael, about 3 years ago in the spring. Our relationship is great, and we are also very close to his sister, Emily. We get along like sisters. This story involves a man named Daniel, who later married Emily. Michael and I have been together for over 10 years, even before we got married, so we are like parents to Emily. We always wished for her happiness and took care of her. Because of this, when Emily got a marriage proposal from her fiancé, she wanted to introduce him to us, her second parents. "I want to introduce my fiancé to you both," she told us. That moment was very special for us as a couple. We felt so happy because Emily, whom we love like a daughter, was finding her partner and working towards a happy future. It was a joyful moment for both me and Michael, and our hearts were full of happiness. Finally, the day came. Emily brought Daniel, her chosen partner, to meet us. Daniel seemed to be around my age, maybe 32. He was 5 years older than Emily, which made me realize she likes older men. I watched him quietly and was impressed by his solid appearance and calm attitude. However, I noticed Daniel kept glancing at me. Did he want to say something to me? Was there something about me that bothered him? Or was it just a coincidence? These questions popped into my mind. I quickly checked my clothes and hairstyle for any issues, but found nothing wrong. Maybe realizing it was rude to stare, Daniel quickly looked away. In the end, we couldn't understand why he was watching me so closely, but Michael and I decided not to worry about it. We went on to introduce ourselves and started chatting with Emily and Daniel, who were sitting across the table from us. "Please take good care of my younger sister," was a classic phrase exchanged, and Michael responded with a smile, "Emily, I'm trusting you to him." Saying this, he'd entrusted Emily's future happiness to Daniel. This created a warm and friendly atmosphere at the gathering, easing the initial tension of our first meeting. At one point, Michael asked Daniel a question he was curious about. "Daniel, may I ask where you work?" I was very interested in his answer and listened carefully. Daniel answered proudly, puffing out his chest. "You might have heard of it. I work at TE Company, which is growing very rapidly right now." "TE Company? Is that the famous game development company?" "Yes, that's correct. I actually started working at TE Company last year, but I didn't leave my old job because I didn't like it. TE Company approached me directly because they valued my skills highly, so it's like a promotion for me. Don't worry, I didn't start as a regular employee." Hearing this surprising story, both Michael and I were amazed. I couldn't help but widen my eyes, and our gazes met. Seeing our shocked reactions, Daniel seemed satisfied that he had made an impression, and he spoke with even more pride. "That's why I want you to trust me completely with Emily. I'm climbing the career ladder quickly at TE Company, and I'm confident that I'm progressing faster than most. Even though I started at a regular level, my salary will increase rapidly, and I'll move up in the company quickly, so please don't worry." When I heard what Daniel said, I was so surprised that I couldn't speak. TE Company is super famous, and I know a lot about it. Michael probably knows about it too. But since he doesn't work there, he might not know all the details. I think both Emily and Michael know that TE Company is really well known in the industry, but it seemed like neither of them expected Emily's fiancé, Daniel, to move up the ranks so quickly after joining. I didn't expect it either. Some parts of Daniel's story made me feel a bit uneasy, but I decided to believe him since he talked about being recruited by TE Company and climbing the career ladder really fast. As we talked about other things, I was curious to know how they met and got together. They said they met through a friend they both knew. Daniel was looking for someone special but didn't want to go to matchmaking events, so he met Emily through a friend he trusted. Emily wasn't actively looking for a boyfriend, but she decided to meet Daniel when her friend suggested it. "I really like how Daniel always makes me smile. His clumsiness is kind of cute too," Emily shared. Hearing them talk about their feelings was like hearing something really sweet. Even though we weren't eating anything sugary, their closeness and love for each other were really clear. But there was something that bothered me. As they were leaving our house, Daniel and Emily were talking about bringing rice and gifts. While they were busy with that, Daniel came up to me a bit separately and asked suddenly, "Hey, do you maybe not remember me?" His question caught me off guard, and I couldn't help but tilt my head in confusion. "Do you really not remember me?" he asked again, sounding doubtful. His face was handsome, but I couldn't recall any close friend named Daniel. I tried hard to remember, but I couldn't. Seeing me struggling to remember, Daniel sighed a little, looking disappointed. "Well then, let's exchange contact info, and please tell Michael later." I forgot to exchange contacts with him. I was shocked by his sudden informal tone. Even if we were close in the past, I couldn't remember it. And I couldn't recall being close with someone who would speak so rudely. Inside, I was full of questions like, who is he? What kind of relationship did we have? But since Emily was there, I didn't think it was the right time to ask or say anything, so I stayed quiet. After we exchanged contact info, I decided to text him to clear up my doubts. But before I could, he messaged me first, saying, I'm surprised. The girl who used to sit quietly in the corner of the classroom in elementary school is married before me. Your face hasn't changed much since then, so I recognized you right away. Growing up, I lived far away, and in elementary school, I was teased by many classmates. Those memories are painful, so I moved away with my family for middle school. In the new city, I met Michael, a wonderful friend, and we became close. I'd rather not think about elementary school. His words surprised me, so I asked, what do you mean? I didn't want anyone to misunderstand, so I explained that Michael was involved in our messages. We agreed that Michael would be included whenever Daniel and I needed to exchange info. I didn't share my background or reasons with Daniel. After explaining, Daniel smiled warmly and asked, do you remember being called PU girl in elementary school? The term PU girl had a specific meaning. It was used to tease me by my classmates because I was from a single-parent family. Even though we weren't really struggling financially, there was a time when other moms assumed we were, just because my mom was a single parent. This rumor might have spread among the kids and led to the teasing. Because of this, and because my mom was considering taking legal action against the moms spreading rumors, I decided to move to a new place. Since then, I haven't heard that unpleasant nickname, which used to cause me so much trouble. But one day, I was surprised when a man admitted he didn't even know what the word poor meant. I calmly told him, please watch what you say. You're my sister-in-law's fiancé, and that's all. Please don't say things that don't make sense. After that, he didn't message me anymore. Maybe he took my words seriously and realized he shouldn't be rude. But watching all this, Michael seemed really uncomfortable with the way the man spoke, and his face changed quickly. What is that guy even thinking? It's like he doesn't realize he's talking to the sister-in-law of the woman he's going to marry, and bringing up stuff from elementary school and acting like nothing's changed. That's just crazy, Michael said, his anger showing. Seeing Michael so upset, I tried to calm him down, saying, take it easy, take it easy. But I was also worried, so I called my mom right away and asked her to find a class photo from my elementary school days. I wanted to see if there was a classmate named Daniel in it. Mom quickly found a boy named Daniel and said on the phone, wasn't this Daniel the one who used to bully you the most? Suddenly, I remembered everything I had forgotten. Daniel was indeed the main bully. Just to be sure, I asked Mom to send me the photo. Looking at it, he looked quite different now, bigger and chubby. That's probably why I didn't recognize him. After that, I decided to look into things further. A few months after our first meeting, I got a call from Emily, which was surprising after such a long time. Rebecca, we haven't got your RSVP for the wedding invitation yet. Are you and your husband planning to come? What wedding invitation? We were really looking forward to it, but we never got it, I told her. Emily seemed surprised and said, I definitely sent it. Maybe something went wrong. Anyway, I'll bring it to you tomorrow, she said, sounding very sincere. The next day, Michael and I got the invitation directly from Emily, and we told her we'd be there. At that point, we had no idea what would happen at the wedding or how it would affect us. No one could have guessed what was coming next. On the day of the wedding, Emily looked stunning in her pure white dress, like an angel. I congratulated her with tears in my eyes, hoping for her happiness and ours too. But Daniel, the groom, quickly soured the mood. He pointed at me, surprising all of us. Why are you here? I didn't invite you, he said, looking very displeased. It seemed like Daniel went out of his way to make sure Michael and I didn't get an invitation. This woman grew up with just her mom. When things got tough, she ran away. Maybe she had some money problems, and now she's with a rich guy thinking life will be easy. She's living in a dream, he said. Despite not knowing anything about my past, Daniel falsely accused me. Michael, sitting next to me, clenched his fist in anger. But I told him to calm down. Daniel kept making false accusations against me. I have an important job at a well-known company. Are you planning to use your connection as my sister-in-law to get money from me if I marry Emily? He asked firmly. His friends were shocked and started getting excited. They must have the same narrow view as Daniel. I went to a staff member and asked for the microphone. Daniel looked like he expected me to say something emotional and illogical, but I stayed calm and said, "It's ridiculous that you, who can't even remember the face of your own company's president, call yourself an elite. Think carefully. If you want to cut ties with me, I'll be in the president's office tomorrow. We'll go through HR procedures." After handing back the microphone, I confidently returned to my seat with a calm demeanor. Michael stood up and walked towards the exit. Soon after, Emily followed him. Seeing this, Daniel called out to her, "Wait, why are you leaving too?" "I'm just trying to end things with her." "If that's the case, there shouldn't be any problems, right?" Not fully grasping the situation, Daniel spoke to Emily, who gave him a cold look. "You really don't know Rebecca, do you? She's the CEO of T Company. I respect and deeply admire her. I can't forgive you for insulting her. I'm ending this engagement right now. You've ruined such an important day. Be prepared." Shocked by Emily's firm words, Daniel was taken aback. Emily talked to the venue staff and removed her wedding dress. She told the guests that the banquet was over, and the wedding would now be a simple meal gathering. She made it clear that this wouldn't happen again and firmly blamed Daniel for the breakup. The next day, as I had promised, I calmly waited for him in the president's office. Two big, muscular employees stood beside me, ready to act if he tried anything during our talk. When he came in, he seemed confident at first, but that soon changed. He sat down and looked tense. His behavior, coming in without permission and not even greeting, was rude. It was clear he didn't understand the basic rules of the company. "No way. I can't believe you're really the president. This is unbelievable," he said. "If you did a little research, you'd find the president's info on our website. Didn't you check before coming?" I asked. "Well, there were some things." He trailed off. It seemed he hadn't taken my words seriously or bothered to find out the truth. Maybe he thought I was joking or lying in front of all those guests. I told him I'm considering terminating your contract. "What? You can't make such a quick decision over a small misunderstanding. I'll talk to the Labor Standards Inspection Office." He tried to persuade me carefully, but I calmly put a copy of his resume in front of him. "You lied about your education here, didn't you? And you claim to have skills you don't actually have, like Excel and video editing. Is that true?" "Well, about that," he started. "Falsifying information and providing false reports are valid reasons for us to terminate an employment contract," I told him directly. He looked surprised at my statement. In fact, I had a strange feeling about him since our first meeting. Afterward, I checked everything thoroughly. Normally, our company doesn't use headhunting methods. Even if we do, I personally meet and interview recommended candidates. But I don't remember having a deep conversation with Daniel. He joined through our regular hiring process and started as a regular employee. He claimed to be aiming for promotion and said he was skilled with certain software, but he actually wasn't. That's why he never got promoted. His self-assessment was very high, and I found that suspicious, so I looked into his attitude. He was lazy at work and seemed content just to be part of the company. I tried to help him improve, but he didn't change. Now that he's broken off his engagement with Emily, there's nothing special between us. He continues to act unpleasantly, making me uncomfortable, so I see no reason to be lenient with him. I promptly asked Daniel to leave the company. Since he had only been with us for less than 6 months, there was no need to consider severance pay or handing over specific duties over such a short time. "Can't you help me out, as an old friend?" he pleaded. But I coldly replied, I don't see any reason to continue our relationship, and arranged for other staff to handle his immediate departure. It seems he was hoping for financial help from his father, but because of the outrageous rumors he spread, that didn't happen. There's a past incident where my mother sued for defamation, and Daniel's mother was the victim. My father paid compensation for damages once before. Faced with a similar situation with his son demanding compensation, my father likely reached his limit, stopped providing financial support, and cut ties with him completely. Afterward, Daniel took care of his elderly mother while being pursued for compensation. Eventually, he vanished, seemingly taken away by people in all black clothing, and nobody knows where he is now. Someone might eventually come forward with information about his whereabouts, but I have no plans to actively search for him. Initially, Emily was deeply hurt when she learned about her fiancé's background. But time heals, and about 6 months have passed. She's starting to see it positively, saying it's probably best we didn't get married. Lately, her smile has returned, and she's even looking for a new partner. Seeing her happier again, Michael and I are truly relieved. They're even talking about having children now.